Hey, hey guys. Um, it's VM here. Just want to talk to you guys. Um, I just want to tell you guys that this channel is connected to my music channel, but it's just a separate one, talking about life and all that. Anyways, for today, I would like to talk about a specific topic. People are lonely, but just don't want to admit it. The truth is that people are more lonely than ever, especially my generation, Gen Z. We grew up with social media. I mean, I personally am an OG, older older Gen Z generation. I don't know what's the oldest a Gen Z could be. Like maybe born in 1997 or something. I don't know. But that's not the point of this video. The point is my generation's feeling more lonely than ever, and I feel like the reason why is because of social media. It just creates this fake life behind the scenes, especially Instagram. You're always comparing yourselves to other people, and someone just seems to be always doing better than you. And, you just see a lot of people just. Every time you try to have a conversation with someone, everybody's just constantly on that smartphone. They just can't seem to bond with anyone. Like, they're just not there. Like when you're talking to them, they're not even part of the conversation anymore. You're like, am I just talking to a fucking ghost or something? Like that's yeah, it's pretty much what I have to say. And excuse me for my language. I don't really swear that much, especially in my songs. But at some point, I gotta admit, I am lonely. Like nobody wants to admit this, but they're lonely. Anybody anybody in the comment section, if you're lonely, just say it. Just say it out loud. I'm lonely. I know it's not a solution, but just admit it. Don't just say, uh, I feel great every day. The reality is, we are all lonely. Like, a lot of us young people, we are just not able to connect with anyone no more. Like, every time the older generation tells us to, meet up with someone at a bar, but the reality is, those people at the bar are probably over the age of 30 or something. And there are not that many people going to the bars anymore. Like you just can't find that many young people because Gen Z has one of the lowest birth rates, especially in the West or in East Asian countries. Like our birth rates are dropping significantly. Our birth rates are dropping. We just don't seem to want to have kids. Like women nowadays just don't want to date to marry. They just want to you know have hookup culture, casual sex. But the reality is, I think people just don't want don't want a traditional family anymore. It's sad, and this is why the women are asking like, where are all the good men at? The good men are just sitting at home, um, pondering about life, and just maybe even some are playing video games instead of just dating. They had enough. Like that's my honest opinion about it. I don't think you're gonna find any good man in a bar or in a nightclub. Sorry, that's not the place to find a good man. It's just not gonna happen nowadays, especially in this day and age. Honestly, I have to admit I am lonely. And I know admitting certain things to people makes you weak, but I think that's the opposite. Admitting something makes you actually a very strong person. Like, you admit that you're lonely. Instead of just hiding it, just say you're lonely. Or just admit it to yourself that you're lonely. Just accept it and move on. Like, that's the problem. Most people just can't accept that they're lonely. I understand. but it's the reality, it's the new normal. Yeah. Sorry guys, if you hear the background, if you hear something on the background, it's my mom talking. So yeah, just ignore that. Yeah. You can see that fake smile already. I mean, you see that a lot these days. Those fake smiles when people are lonely, when you ask people if they're lonely, they just don't want to admit it. They just say, "Oh, I'm not lonely. What are you talking about?" Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? The only way people can admit that they're lonely is on camera, like me, on a camera, or behind the YouTube comment section. Yeah, the reality is nobody cares about if you're lonely or not, but the reality is in order to fight against loneliness is to admit that you are lonely. And to admit that you are lonely is actually liberating because then you just say, okay, if I'm lonely, then I just accept it and just move on. You have to fucking move on. There is, sorry for my language, but you have to accept it. Some things you just have to accept. It just sucks. It sucks that we're living in this time. It really sucks. Let's be honest. Like, there's a lot of things going on in this world, and we Gen Z have to put up with all this crap. You know, from what the previous generations have caused. And yeah, it just feels like the people that are going to retire don't really care what we have to go through as Gen Z. They don't care. Yeah, and now we have to go through this. You know, what makes this life more lonely is that every time you try to talk to someone, every time, especially if you join a club or you join, I don't know, you join like a sports club or something, right? I think most of the time when you're in contact with someone, they they smile at first maybe, or they just give you guys exchange phone numbers, and on that day when you try to meet each other, in that last moment, in that last moment, that person just says, "Oh, I don't have time," or worst case scenario, that person just ghosts you or blocks you completely. That's the crazy part because I just don't understand anymore. I don't understand how people have just become so rude. Like they just don't want to talk to no one no more. They just prefer to be in their comfy little room. Okay, jokes aside, okay, their room, Okay, that's not a joke at all, but you guys know what I mean. Like, yes, I am in a room, but I'm talking about other people. Like they just don't want to meet other people anymore, and they think it's just comfortable by just texting them saying, "Oh, I don't have time," when they've already made a plan to go there. And even worst case scenario, when that person drives to that place and that person lives far away, they drive there, they wasted their gas money just to drive there, and they say, "Oh, I don't have time." Like, come on. Can't people just at least like admit that they don't have time, or just admit that they don't want to meet up and are more comfortable using their smartphone? Like, just admit it. But people just don't want to admit it. They just don't want to meet up anymore. And that's what causes a lot of the anxiety, the loneliness, because you feel betrayed and then you feel lonely because you can't find friends no more, and you feel like you've you've tried so many times and people just constantly ghost you over and over and over again, and your mind just gets tired of it, and you're like, screw it, I don't want to meet anyone no more. Excuse me, it's getting late here. I don't want to meet anyone no more, and I just want to I just want to be by myself. Yeah. Sorry, excuse me. It looks like I'm crying, but I'm actually not. I'm just really tired. Yeah. You know, I don't usually talk so much on camera. I usually make my songs, but I feel like I made the right choice by creating another channel. Yeah. And I feel like this is just not normal anymore. Like, how can we feel so much loneliness? How can we live with so many people and still feel lonely? It's just not possible. Like, it's really bad. Like, a lot of people, they just walk around in the street and feel lonely and they just don't want to admit it. Like, people just want to hang out with other people so that they just don't feel lonely. But if those people are the wrong people and you're wasting your time and you're in your deathbed and someone asks you what's your biggest regret in life and you say I shouldn't have talked to these people, I wasted my time with the wrong people. Well, it's too late now. You wasted years of your time being with those people. Yeah, and I'm glad that I finally realized that it's better to be lonely than to be with the wrong people. But it still hits you like you still humans are social creatures and we want this natural crave of, this natural biology that we just want to hang out with others. And if that does not work, eventually someone will just go cuckoo, insane. Because if you don't hang out with so many people, or if you don't at least talk to one person, you're just gonna go insane. Respect to my parents. My parents have to work so hard they barely have time to talk to me. And yeah, and that kind of sucks because you don't have time. You don't have enough time to talk to them. It's hard. It's hard out there. It's very hard out there. Excuse me, man. Yeah, it's hard. And I feel like the loneliness epidemic is it's just gonna get worse, especially in the West. With AI, with AI, girls, AI dating. I have no words, and the only way we can deal with this is by us just accepting it that we're lonely. And maybe if we just stopped having a smartphone, we would feel less lonely, you know? Even if you realize that most people are just going to use their smartphone to, you know, pretty much use it for everything. They use their smartphone for everything and you try to talk to them, they just are not there. They're not in the present moment. And that's what really hits you when you don't go outside with a smartphone. Like, I carry my dumb phone most of the time when I go out, my Nokia phone. And I see people, like, they're just constantly on their phone or they just are not in the present moment. It's kind of a scary reality. Like, I feel like I'm in another dimension. I gotta crack that neck. Yeah, it's really hard. Try my best not to think about those things. But sometimes this needs to be said. And I think we just need to accept the fact that we're feeling lonely. And when the loneliness comes back, just try not to give yourself into it. Just accept it. Let go. Alright? I love you guys. See you guys in the next video. Peace.